Contact the Vehicle Donation Program.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Hi, I'm Dr. Terry Woodbeck. Adverse childhood experiences can last a lifetime, but they don't have to. You can help break this cycle of neglect and abuse. Visit azpbs.org/strongkids.
PBS Online. Share, tweet, watch.
Arizona PBS celebrates a moment in time, made possible by the Linkous Group, a registered financial advisor. The Lowell Observatory has uncovered many hidden treasures amongst the stars, from the discovery of Pluto to the rings of Uranus. The observatory has stood the test of time and continues to scan the skies today.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Hospice of the Valley, a not-for-profit community hospice for patients nearing end of life and support for their families. HOV.org.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
President Trump pleased with what he calls a big United States Supreme Court win for the border on asylum. But local immigration advocates say it's more like a big blow to refugees seeking shelter.
Plus, as the White House pushes to ban flavored e-cigarette products, local Valley health experts weigh in on the risks.
And we've all seen the heartbreaking images of the fires ripping through the Amazon rainforest right now. Or have we? We'll have more on the surprising spread of misinformation during one of the biggest environmental stories of the year.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Mackenzie Papasich.
And I'm Christopher Lindsay. Thank you for joining us.
Our big story tonight, the Supreme Court making a decision that will have huge repercussions for those looking to come to the United States and seek asylum.
Cronkite News reporter Frankie McLister got reactions and can tell us more. Frankie?
Yeah, guys, immigration advocates say that this is a huge blow to their effort of maintaining a process that has been outlined for years by international law. And on the other hand, the White House argues that this will assist them in bringing order to what they call a crisis at the border.
It's a huge victory for the Trump administration. What they want is for people from Central America to simply die in their own countries.
Strong words today from Phoenix immigration attorney Ray Ybarra Maldonado. A Supreme Court decision late Wednesday allowing nationwide enforcement of a new Trump administration rule preventing most Central American migrants from seeking asylum in the United States.
The result of this decision is that the Trump administration can flat out deny the opportunity to present an asylum claim for someone from El Salvador, Guatemala, or Honduras simply by the fact that they didn't ask for asylum in Mexico or in Guatemala if they're from El Salvador or Honduras.
This is a huge shift in asylum policy for the United States. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, just one of two dissenting judges, writing, quote, "Once again, the executive branch has issued a rule that seeks to upend longstanding practices regarding refugees who seek shelter from persecution," end quote.
It's a drastic change in asylum law, which is very clear and says all people that are here in the country have the right to apply for asylum. And it makes it so that people from Central America can have their cases denied immediately without having the opportunity to present information to an immigration judge.
For his part, President Trump tweeting big United States Supreme Court win for the border on asylum. The ACLU of Arizona releasing a statement saying, quote, "This is just a temporary step and we're hopeful we'll prevail at the end of the day. The lives of thousands of families are at stake," end quote. In the past, the ACLU has filed suits to prevent such policies. However, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services Acting Director Ken Cuccinelli says lawsuits will not deter them from moving forward.
Well, because we're right, one, we're implementing the president's policies, and he's made it very clear from day one, frankly before day one, when he was campaigning, that he intended to be forceful and aggressive in this space from a policy standpoint, and he has been.
And according to Maldonado, this policy takes effect immediately. In the Broadcast Center, I'm Frankie McLister, Cronkite News.
Defund hate!
Protesters gathered today outside the Metropolitan Detention Center in downtown Los Angeles to show their support for the migrants being held inside and to advocate against the government funding of ICE. According to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the overall number of migrants coming to the southwest border has increased by over 100,000 within the last fiscal year. The percentage of those applying for asylum has also increased by 5% since last September. Along the California border alone, over 12,000 claims were filed for fear-based asylum, up over 8,000 from last fiscal year. Protesters are hoping their voices will be heard by both representatives and the migrants being held inside.
The White House joins in on the effort to ban flavored e-cigarette products from store shelves across the country. This comes as the number of states with illnesses linked to vaping grows to 39. The president of the American Vaping Association weighed in today on the potential ban and efforts to keep the products away from minors.
Cigarette use, yes, is up, and we should combat that with appropriate marketing controls, with perhaps Tobacco 21, with increased licensing and enforcement at the state level. But simply prohibiting flavors used by 13 million Americans, it is a disaster for public health, and it's going to be a disaster for President Trump's re-election campaign as well.
Michigan became the first state to ban flavored vaping products last week, and several other state and local governments are considering similar measures.
And back here in Arizona, we talked to Valley Health experts about the risks of e-cigarette usage and the tracking efforts for vaping-related illnesses. Cronkite News reporter Jennifer Alvarez is joining us live in the studio with what they had to say.
I talked to Will Humble, Executive Director of the Arizona Public Health Association, and he's convinced this is a lot bigger of an issue than it seems, and says that just because our state doesn't have any confirmed cases tied back to vaping doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have any cases at all.
There's really no, what we call in public health, surveillance system in place.
That means there's not a formal way to report or track vaping-related illnesses, like what can be done when someone has measles, for example.
It gets reported to the county health department, to the state health department, it goes to CDC. We have this whole network in public health of surveillance, but it doesn't extend to lung injuries like this.
There have been several cases suspected to be caused by vaping in Arizona, but none have been confirmed yet. The CDC is investigating a multi-state outbreak of lung illnesses associated with e-cigarettes, and so far there have been over 450 reported possible cases, highlighted here in dark blue, and 6 deaths.
This is really the tip of the iceberg, I think. We're going to start seeing a lot more cases identified now that doctors know what to look for when they see reports like this, when they see the CDC advisory.
Health experts are also warning young people about how the unknown could harm them.
It's really dangerous. You're putting your life on the line. We have no idea what the long-term effects of vaping could be or can be on the lung tissue. We just don't really know.
These things are harmful, not just for the lung injuries that we're now seeing, but there is a lot more risk involved with electronic cigarettes and vaping than people really realized. Years ago, when electronic cigarettes first came out, I actually thought that they could be a public health benefit, but what really happened in true life is that the vaping companies, including Juul and others, have been very, very good at addicting young people, and it's going to be a long battle.
The CDC has not yet identified an exact cause for these illnesses, but they do say that in all of these reported cases, the person did have a history of using e-cigarette products. Live in the newsroom, Jennifer Alvarez, Cronkite News.
The 2020 Democratic presidential candidates will face off against each other once again tonight. But unlike the 2 rounds of the debate, this one will be limited to just 10 candidates on one night. ABC's debate will feature Joe Biden, Cory Booker, Pete Buttigieg, Julian Castro, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Andrew Yang. This will be the first time the 2 front runners in the election, Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, get to speak on the same stage at the same time. Electability has been the question on many people's minds, and a key strategy for many of the Democratic hopefuls as they make their case to the American public.
This is a fight we will win.
The answer to Donald Trump is not playing his game.
Together, we will make Donald Trump a one-term president.
Questions are more likely to say they want the party to nominate a candidate with a strong chance of beating Trump, while just 39% said they're looking for a candidate who shares their position on major issues.
I got a plan for that. In fact, I got multiple plans for this.
Heading into the debate tonight, Joe Biden is polling in first place, followed by Elizabeth Warren in second and Bernie Sanders in third. While enthusiasm for those three has been consistently high from the start, the remaining candidates are fighting to make their mark in the hearts and minds of Democratic voters. So we want to hear from you now. Which topic are you most interested in hearing the Democratic candidates discuss tonight? Border and/or immigration, the economy, gun violence, or healthcare? Right now, over 40% of you say gun violence. Just head to our Cronkite News Twitter feed to vote in our live interactive poll.
And new tonight, Barbara Barrett is an Arizona businesswoman, a former ambassador, and the patron of the Honors College right here at ASU. And now she's in line to be the next Secretary of the Air Force.
That nomination was the subject of a Senate Armed Services Committee confirmation hearing in Washington today. Cronkite News reporter Heather Cumberledge spoke with Barrett after the hearing and has a report from our Washington bureau. Heather?
Barbara Barrett may be in line to be the next Secretary of the Air Force, but her confirmation hearing today was about more than just fighter jets and bombers. Topics ranged from everything to outer space to the border wall. A big part of Barrett's opening statement to the Senate Armed Services Committee focused on the need for a Space Force.
If confirmed, standing up a Space Force would be a key imperative. I believe we need a Space Force. In fact, in my opinion, a domain-specific service to organize, train, and equip Space Forces is overdue.
Barrett was introduced by Arizona Senator Martha McSally, who praised her qualifications in academia, in business, and in diplomacy as the former U.S. ambassador to Finland.
It's a great pride that I sit before you this morning to introduce fellow Arizonan and my personal friend, Ambassador Barbara Barrett, as a nominee to be the next Secretary of our Air Force.
Most senators appear to agree with the assessment, with little by way of hardball questions. The toughest exchanges came over how Barrett would respond to the Trump administration's decision to divert $3.6 billion from defense projects to the border wall.
So if confirmed, what would you do to prevent the president from continuing to do this, continue to raid military funds?
Barrett would only say she would work with lawmakers while following the law. More of the lawmakers, like McSally, asked about getting commitments for home state projects.
I want to ask if I can continue to have your commitment to assess that and see how that maybe could be used at other bases, because it really is an amazing initiative.
Absolutely, Senator.
All right, great. We'll show you that firsthand when you come out to Luke.
Most senators said they look forward to working with Barrett, a move McSally supports.
These positions make her a phenomenal choice to lead a military service branch. But her unique experiences are what make her the best choice to lead our Air Force at this important time in history.
Barrett said she looks forward to it as well.
And I'm proud to have the privilege of serving in the government in recent past, and it would be a great privilege to serve again.
No vote has been scheduled yet on the nomination. When I asked Barrett about it, she said she would only say she looks forward to the results of the vote. If confirmed, she would be the fourth woman to serve as Air Force Secretary. In Washington, for Cronkite News, Heather Cumberledge.
Thank you, Heather. Coming up next on Cronkite News at 5. As Amazon fires spread, so do the fake news photos.
And after the break, we'll show you how to spot what's real and what's not before sharing a post on social media.
And before you make those weekend plans, stick around for my 7-day forecast. Will you need an umbrella or more sunscreen? The answer still to come.
Millions of people die every year from drinking dirty water. I would never have felt I had the ability to do something without ASU pushing me. We built filtration systems out of local materials with the people. to see those kids drink clean water for the first time. It's the most rewarding feeling that you can ever have. I went to ASU because I wanted to change the world. The thing I never would have expected is how the world would have changed me.
Welcome to another edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Taylor Rocha. Let's talk sports.
For the latest on local sports and beyond, we've got you covered.
Let's do this thing.
We challenge reporters to go beyond, a game story. We want stories with depth.
It's just a crucial step from the college experience into the professional experience while you're still in school.
At Cronkite Sports Now, watch the journalists of tomorrow cover sports today.
The Amazon rainforest is on fire. Areas of the rainforest burn during the dry season every year, but this is the largest number of blazes in almost a decade.
Cronkite News reporter Jordan Elder explains what this means for us here in Arizona.
This year, the fires are bigger, more intense, and covering more ground. With the help of over 100 satellites up in space, scientists at Arizona State University are helping monitor the flames and the aftermath. ASU research professor David Pearson has been to the Amazon 95 times.
I started working in the Amazon in 1968. This is a wonderful place. The mosquitoes aren't that bad, and the snakes, you don't see them very often.
But Pearson is worried that when he returns in the spring, the rainforest he knows and loves may be unrecognizable.
I've never seen fires this extensive. Just the immensity of it is overwhelming. Yes, we've had fires before, but they were in the infrequent drought times.
This year, there have been more than 100,000 fires. These fires have burned land that's almost 3 times the size of the state of Arizona. A satellite imagery program called Planet is allowing ASU researchers to watch the fires.
It's printing out the image that you would end up getting
and predict the environmental impact from above.
They're called CubeSats, and they're essentially the size of a loaf of bread, and they just send a bunch of these CubeSats into orbit, and they take data by taking pictures.
Researchers like Ovidiu Silic use the data that Planet collects. Silic can now start to estimate how much carbon is being released, something that could impact the rest of the world.
This will contribute to increase carbon dioxide in the atmosphere that will contribute to climate change and global warming, which doesn't necessarily have a local effect, but it will have a global effect.
Many outlets were reporting that the Amazon rainforest is the lungs of the earth. But according to this data from Oxford University, that's not necessarily true. In fact, only about 1/3 of the oxygen produced on land even comes from rainforests, and only half of that is from the Amazon. The rest gets used through microbes, cellular respiration, and phytoplankton. So most of what we're breathing doesn't even come from the Amazon. Scientists aren't exactly sure what the long-term effects of these fires will be.
There's a lot of arm waving going on, and we need to do a lot of studies very quickly because it's happening so fast.
Pearson says he accepts that the Amazon is changing, but if fires like these become the norm, he says the plants and animals he's studied for so long may disappear. Experts believe cattle farmers may set fires intentionally to clear land for agriculture. The Amazon rainforest spans 9 countries, but most of it is in Brazil. The Brazilian government has banned all human-caused fires for 60 days in an attempt to better the situation, but it's unclear at this time if that order will be followed.
Thank you, Jordan. Now, not only is the Amazon burning, but social media is burning too, with a lot of information and misinformation.
But not all of it is accurate, right?
That's right. Celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio and politicians like French Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron have shared images supposedly of the fires in the Amazon, but after looking a little closer, they're outdated. Macron posted this image on Twitter. The photographer of this photo, Lauren McIntyre, died in 2003. That means it's over 16 years old. And this photo from Leonardo DiCaprio was first posted online in 2017. DiCaprio has shared more current images since then.
So the information in the posts are correct, but the photos aren't.
And why is this so dangerous?
Well, these are people that have large social media audiences. And so these people are sharing and consuming their content, but if they don't verify the source of the information, it can lead to the spread of fake news. We talked to author and fake news expert Kai Shu about these images specifically.
The image, as you mentioned, is outdated, but it's a real image. And it's really hard for people to tell, well, okay, this is not actually really about this event, but it's about another event a long time ago. That's why usually fake news is very hard to tell, is people tend to believe something they want to believe.
And so, Jordan, what can people do if they see images like these that are almost sort of too good to be true?
Well, there are a lot of reverse image searching apps for free online that you can plug the image into. It will pull up every single match for the image so you can see exactly where it came from. You can drag and drop a picture into Google Images just like this, and it'll show you any images that are visually similar to it. There's also a website called TinEye that you can install as a shortcut on Google Chrome. You can either upload the picture or the URL where you found it, and it will show you every single time that that photo or a piece of that photo appears online.
That's really fascinating. Thank you, Jordan.
No problem. And for any updates to this story, you can follow me on Twitter at JordanElderTV.
And up next on Cronkite News at 5, what young athletes in Arizona are doing to beat the heat and stay on top of their game. Don't go away.
As sure as night is dark and day is light, I keep you on my mind both day and night.
The song came from my mother's fear. You know, you're going out on the road and these girls are coming up and to you, and he wrote, I walk the line. I'm gonna stay true to you.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine.
If there's one thing that Arizona is known for, it's the extreme heat. Anthony Totri is in the Cronkite News Media Center with a look at how the state's youth athletes do their best to keep cool. Anthony?
That's right, Mackenzie. There were 182 heat-related deaths reported in Maricopa County in 2018. And although the majority were adults, Arizona's extreme temperatures consistently affect youth athletes. I have found out the lengths some trainers are going to prevent the worst-case scenario.
Most at-risk populations are certainly children and the elderly, and then people with other medical issues as well.
High school and youth sports are in the midst of their seasons, but with the temperatures outside sometimes reaching deadly conditions, there are a number of ways to prepare for the Arizona heat. And go! Saguaro High School's head athletic trainer Nikki May takes air and surface temperature readings hours before each practice. The football field is equipped with water cannons. May said the cannons can drop the temperature of the turf by 60 degrees.
We make modifications to our practice gear depending on what the weather's looking like outside. So we either change practice times, or we take gear off, or we don't condition in our pads, things like that.
Sweet Feet Training, which trains young athletes in the Valley, puts hydration at the center of their practices.
And making sure they're hydrated every single day, you know what I mean? Just to be preparing themselves to get in that habit, you know, to take on the season full-fledged and be the best athlete that they can be.
With temperatures in Arizona sometimes reaching 115 degrees, hydration is obviously important. But how much water is enough? Well, that's not going to cut it. Professionals recommend at least 1 gallon 2 to 3 days before practice just to be safe.
I recommend that if you don't have an athletic trainer, that you weigh in and you weigh out of practice. And every pound of body weight that you lose, you have 2 to 3 hours to consume 24 fluid ounces for every pound.
While athletes should focus on hydrating well before a practice, coaches like Franklin feel responsible for putting kids in the safest situation possible.
The safety of our athletes is everything. All the training that goes into this is so that these players can perform at their best level on game day. So making sure that the kids are training in safe environments is very, very important to us.
In the case of an athlete suffering from heat exhaustion, it's recommended to immediately cool his or her body temperature, and in the case of heat stroke, do the same, while also placing a call to 911. In the Media Center, Anthony Totri, Cronkite News.
Thank you, Anthony. Now, with this extreme heat that we have going on, Annika, please tell us that sometime soon it's going to cool down.
You know, we've experienced a little bit cooler temperatures lately, but unfortunately it's going to spike back up, but just a tiny bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's weather. So the weather right now, it's about 100 degrees or so in the Phoenix area, and it's been hovering around that in the valley. And then if you can see that you want to go for a hike or something and cool off, you'll want to head up north. The Grand Canyon is about 74 degrees and Flagstaff at 72. Perfect hiking weather. But let's take a look at this evening. As you're leaving work, it's still going to hover around 100 degrees or so, but then we're going down, 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 reaching 91 degrees. So we're going to cool off and maybe a good time to sit out on your patio. As you know, It's been rather a tame summer as far as monsoon season goes, but if we take a look at tomorrow, there's going to be some very small storms here in the Tucson area. If you're in the area, you'll want to be mindful. Maybe you'll want to bring an umbrella. We've also got some high temperatures here in the south, but as we take a look at your 7-day forecast, your hottest day is tomorrow, Friday. Some clouds over the weekend, and then we're actually going to be cooling down into the hovering around the hundreds, chance of rain Tuesday and Wednesday, but only 20%. Don't get your hopes up too far. In the Cronkite News Weather Center, I'm Monica Abbott.
Thank you, Annika. Coming up, scientists spot the world's smallest and most endangered marine mammal. The incredible images when we come back. Finally tonight, a very rare sighting in Mexico last month as scientists with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration spotted 3 pairs of highly endangered Vaquita marina. Experts believe as few as 10 of the world's smallest marine animals remain in the Sea of Cortez. The sightings occurred over 2 weeks and provided a glimmer of hope for scientists dedicated to protecting them. Black market fishing operations have contributed to the vaquita's dwindling population over the years. But hopes are high the sighting brings awareness to the plight of this remarkable species.
And Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, the son of a former governor talks about life as one of the state's largest growers of medical marijuana. That's on the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour, America at War. The former head of Central Command on today's threats. That's Thursday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
And for top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Next time on A Chef's Life.
What's your broccoli dish?
I buy broccoli every single time I go to the grocery store.
Thank you.
So today is pub day for my book, and then our tour will begin. My launch dinner is at Bon Appetit magazine.
Vivian Howard.
Tonight at 7:30 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
Country music is truth-telling.
Binge country music with Passport.
You can dance to it, you can cry to it.
The people who built this country, that's where country and blues come from.
Country music comes from right in here. Country music. Binge all episodes with Passport.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy at the fingertips, collapse. TV, lay down, Abby.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
Arizona PBS celebrates a moment in time, made possible by Rock Springs Cafe. Before astronauts walked on the moon,
they first took some giant leaps in northern Arizona. The Apollo 11 crew tested their skills and equipment on the surfaces of the Meteor Crater and Cinder Lake Crater Field.
Coming soon